Hello, my YouTube fans, come here again, and today I'm going to share ways on how to have a great day. And I like to go straight into the tactics without wasting any time. Tactic number one, for you to have a great day, plan the night before. We all know when you wake up very early in the morning and you've not planned anything, then guess what? You're going to go on your phone and you're going to start the day with someone else's agenda. So how about you start practicing planning the night before? When you plan the night before, guess what? Through the night, your subconscious mind is going to be at work. And when you wake up first thing in the morning, what are you going to ask yourself? What did I say I'm going to do in the morning? So plan the night before. When you plan the night before, then you're not reacting. You're being proactive on going after your goals and dreams. Tactic number two, start the day in silence. Silence comes in so many ways. You can call it meditation. You can call it just being quiet. But one of the most important things I've learned is when you're silent, then that's what ideas actually come. That's when you're able to actually reflect on what it is you want to do for the day or what it is you actually done the day before. So silence may seem really, really hard, but guess what? It's one of the most important things. And for me, when I started to do silence, I used to think to myself, oh, I've got so much to do. Why am I wasting my time, in silence? But one of the things I've realized is the more you're silent, the more you're able to listen to that still small voice. I want you to think about it. How many times have you woken up in the morning and you are rushing somewhere? Maybe you are so late. Guess what? You're running up, you bump into traffic. But what happens if you actually had some silence in the morning before? When you're silent, it's like you're planning your day ahead. One of the things I like to say is nothing outside me is going to control how I think, feel, or act. When you're silent, you're actually reflecting and saying, what's going to happen if X, Y, and Z doesn't go according to my way? For example, what's going to happen if something bad happens to me? See, this is what silence is so good. It's like you're reflecting, it's like you're signposting, it's like you're being ahead of the things that are going to happen to you. So silence. And how do you do that? For me, I like to put on some quiet. You can do quiet music. You can do whatever actually works for you, but make sure whatever you put on is the instrumental, because if you're listening to music, then guess what? You're going to be singing along and you're not going to be present. So most important thing is get a sound that you like. Some people like sound of water. Some people maybe just plain music. So whatever it is that works for you. And of course, the question you're asking is, how long should this silence be? So everyone is different. That's something I can't answer. You can only answer that question for you. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be, some people have an hour silence, but it's entirely up to you. But remember, just because you're busy doesn't mean you can't start the day in silence. In fact, someone said to me, the more busier you are, the better to start the day in silence, because guess what? Then you can think about all the things that you're going to come across during the day. You can think about all the obstacles that may be presented to you and how you are actually going to encounter those obstacles. Tactic number 3. Now that you've finished the silence, what happens? So I want you to start with your priorities. It could be priorities. I like to say the hard things first. Let's give an example. Not all of us, but most people have been in this journey before, where you want to go on maybe an exercise regime. We all know we're so busy. So how about we start with the day with exercise? Start with the hardest things first. If you're working on a goal, if you're working on a project, guess what? If you do that first thing in the morning, one thing I've learned, I like to call it winning the day before it starts. When you do something first thing in the morning, when you go out there, when you go to work, when you go to university, when you go anywhere, guess what? Before everyone wakes up, before everyone gets to work, when they come in, guess what? You've already done your most important task in the morning. It's like you've already won the day before it's begun. That's what I like to call it, winning the day before it begins. So that way, when obstacles are presented to you, You've already done your core activity that you said you're going to do. But if you say, oh, I'll do it at the end of the day, we all know unexpected things happen. Sometimes you get tired, sometimes you had a bad day, and guess what? You end up putting off the things you said you knew you wanted to do. Whereas when you do it first thing in the morning, it's before all the people's agendas have actually come to you. And this is one of the most important things, especially if you want to create a new habit. Because guess what? Things are bound to happen. In fact, things are going to happen. And sometimes things might not happen. Sometimes you're just exhausted. So if it's an exercise regime, it's better you do it first thing in the morning than waiting for you to finish the day. Because guess 99% of the time, you are going to be tired. You are going to be exhausted. People are going to want to take up your time for different things, and then you end up not being able to do the things you said you were going to do. Next one. So now that you've won the day, what next? So I want you at the end of the day, I want you to do what they call a self-reflection. What's this? So let's say again, we're using this same goal for you going on an exercise regime. So you sit down at the end of the day and ask yourself, did I do the activities that I said I was going to do? Did I do the activities that I set up the night before that I was going to do? And if you do this exercise, it's going to help you reflect on the day. And if you didn't do the activity, then guess what? The fact that you're doing it every day, you're going to be propelled to actually do it. If you missed maybe a workout regime, then guess what? The following day, it will be the first thing you do. And what happens if you don't do a self-reflection? Then you're just going to go through the week and then realize you didn't do those most important activities that you set yourself out to do. You're going to reach the end of the week and realize you didn't even start that project that you said you wanted to start. When you come to the end of the week, you're going to realize you didn't start on your goals and dreams, or you just got caught up in so many things that you didn't even realize you had to do X, Y, and Z. And it's like Socrates said, an unexamined life is not worth living. So imagine if you did a self-reflection every single day. How would that actually impact your life? How would it impact your goals and dreams that you've set yourself to achieve? And then, lastly but not the least, I want you've probably heard this a million times, end the day with gratitude. Yes, we all know there's so many things we go through, during the day or in our lives, but if you start ending the day with gratitude, guess what? You are training your mind to be grateful for the things that you've actually gone through the day, to be grateful for the things that you've experienced during the week. But let's take it a notch even higher. So how about in that gratitude, you also include the things that you actually didn't do? We all know there are two types of gratitude. There's gratitude for the great things that happened to you, but there's also gratitude for the challenges you've gone through. Why? Because we all know everything happens not to you, but everything happens for you. Everything is all about perspective. So for you, if you say, okay, I had a really hard day, guess what? The next question is, if I have the same day tomorrow, how am I going to be able to meet or tackle these challenges? See, when you ask yourself that question, guess what? Your mind is going to come up with an answer. It's like someone once said, why do bad things always happen to me? Guess what? What you ask your mind, those are the answers it's going to give to you. So I want you to change your perspective and say, okay, yes, I faced this challenge. How was this meant to be for my good? Or if I face this challenge again, how am I going to be able to overcome it? See, it's all about perspective, like they say. So it's the same condition happening to two different people, but being interpreted differently. It's like someone once said, two men sat behind prison doors. One saw mud, the other one saw stars. It's all about perspective when you're doing gratitude. Those are the tactics I wanted to share with you guys on how to have a great day. Practice them, and trust me, you'll start having great days. And if you miss one, don't beat yourself up. Start that next day. It's Calm, be inspired, and as always, do me a favor, comment, subscribe, and share these YouTube videos. It's Calm, be inspired. Have a fantastic weekend. I love you, my fans. Mwah.